is none other than the person I'll always be linked to. What do you say? I'm like herpes. You'll never get rid of me, Forrest.
Well, yeah. I mean, both of us. Yeah.
We're both herpes.
Yeah. I think it's only fitting, right? You start some good things with me, so I feel like we've covered some miles together. So
yeah, we just had a gig the other week at the CBD shop, Healing Panda.
That's correct. Yeah.
So yep, still getting gigs together. Yes, it's we're worth a lot more together. Well, me than by myself. A lot of people just use me to get to you. To be honest.
I'm not sure why people would use me or what they would want to get out of me, but maybe one day I'll understand. Well, what's happening today, man? Tell me a little bit about this podcast. I'm excited.
This podcast is, based on fighting, but I don't really want to limit it. We get pro wrestlers in here. We can talk.
Any kind of fighting. I like it.
Yeah, just fighting.
Boxing, definitely pro wrestling. I know you love pro wrestling, which is understandable.
It's like baseball, where it's more fun to do it than watch it.
Yeah,
I really don't watch it,
sure.
but it's fun. I like doing it. And I feel the exact same way about baseball. Hard to watch, fun to do.
I'm always impressed, though, with pro wrestling. It's not competitive, and it's just a different thing, but doing that stuff is hard. I mean, I've told you my little story about pro wrestling where I was like, I always wanted to do one match with Cactus Jack or whatever he goes by. I wanted to do like one match. Yeah.
Yeah, you just tee off chair shots on him.
Yeah. I wanted to do one match, and then I was like, oh, this is so much harder than I thought it would be. And then when I fought, my manager actually managed a bunch of pro wrestlers, and I would talk to him, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds horrible. You got to stay big on the road. You're traveling coach. You're giant. You are, just doing crazy things to your body. So I liked being around those guys because it made fighting seem not that hard.
It's all about what makes pro wrestling harder than anything is the amount you got to do it. You got to, if you're full-time pro wrestler, you're doing it a couple times a week, whereas fighting's a couple times a year. The good thing is you could kind of dictate the pace of the match and what you're willing to do. You could say, I ain't doing that. No,
can you though?
You ain't throwing me through a table. Actually, I guess it depends.
If you really want to make your big break, you got to make a few breaks, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's true. I know the WWE's pretty good about protecting the guys, like with Randy Orton. They're like, no, you're not going off the top rope. But I could go off the top rope. I like doing it. Nope, not doing it.
And then I remember watching you wrestle with an actual cast because you had a broken arm, which was great.
Huh. I forgot all about that one.
So yeah, should we recap the last UFC? I mean,
should we officially get started?
Yeah, I don't know about a lot, but
while we're touching on pro wrestling, why not just bring up the bigger news story? It's Vince McMahon. They had an internal investigation going on. It turns out he's paid off
16.
I thought it was 3 million, 16 million.
Oh yeah, I think something crazy like.
Or
that.
you're saying 16 girls?
No, I thought it was millions. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 3 million.
Oh, okay.
But an internal investigation.
Well, that's not that much actually.
Imagine that there were people in the office spying on you. Well, not you, like Dana, like the top dog, and to throw him under the bus.
That is weird.
Unbelievable.
That's really weird. Yeah.
But he's I think 76 years old, and to still have that much vigor to be going after the young girls at that age, hats off to him,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No comment.
Oh yeah. If I'm jerking off once a week when I'm 76, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, if I've seen an erection in a year at 76, I'll be just surprised. What's this?
So, fighting. Let's get back on the fighting. That was all I really had on the pro wrestling.
Not Vince's good supplements.
Vince, yes. I just had the UFC in San Diego over the weekend.
Yeah.
And
Cruz's head movement, kind of naked head movement, finally caught up with him.
Yeah, as he pulling out with his head down,
or shooting, to the side with the head down. That's something I always did, was pull out with the head up but he kind of shoots over, picks the side. And, I think it's okay. The one thing I thought was risky about the way he would do it is when he did it against the fence, because you just don't
And that's
have
what
that.
happened. Yeah.
You don't have that space.
The fence blocked him off.
Yeah.
And Mar Rivera, that's his, I think, third finish with his. I saw him high kick someone out, knee someone out, front kick someone up now. His legs are about as dangerous as Yair's.
And so long, too, yeah. And he's got a great chin. He doesn't care about taking damage. He marches forward. So I think 5-round fights are the way to go for him. I could definitely see him with his fight style losing 3-round fights, but I think now that he's at this level, he just needs to continue in 5-round fights. I think they favor him more.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I hadn't seen too many of his fights, but before that one, just getting to know him a little better, I'm like, wow, he's
a
got
bad
some
dude.
impressive victories on there.
I think he was one of the original talents from one of the Latin America Ultimate Fighter shows, and then they,
Is that the one you coached?
It is not. He was way before me. So I did season 3. He was on season 1, I think, and that was years before. And then I think he's one of those guys that kind of put in that developmental program at the time.
How many seasons have they done in Latin America now? They're still going?
No, I don't
Still
think
been
so.
doing
I
them?
think just the 3. Me and Chuck did it, and they were like, that's so good, we'll never top that. We're just going to step away on top. I'm sure that's what happened.
So, other big fight news, unless you got anything else you want to touch on with that fight card.
Yeah, what was the co-main on that?
I was
Oh,
trying to
God, there
pull
were
it up
such
here.
great fights. Yasmin, I won't even try to say her
Yasmin
last.
versus Yasmin.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight between those two women, 20 and 23, so definitely the future of the women's strawweight division. Yeah, that was exciting. It was a great fight. And then what was the fight right before the main event was also really – it was that Nate the Train versus Bob. I can't say the kid's name, but, yeah, great fight.
I'm going to pull up the fight card here. I can never think of them off the top of my head,
Well, I can never pronounce people's names. That's my problem. And also, if you're listening to this, driving in your car, doing whatever you're doing, feel free to listen to it at a time and a half. So we speak slow.
Yeah.
So time and a half's the way to go on this one. Maybe even just time and a quarter.
Yes, we both talk slow. Me a little slower.
Well, my thing is I grew up in the South, and people down there, they either speak slow or they kind of mumble and put everything
Southern
together kind of
drawl.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyson beat Ode Osborne.
O'Day, who trains in
O'Day.
Vegas. Yeah.
Ode, first round knockout.
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, that co-main event, which I think it was Nate Landshear
Yes.
versus David Ombabwe, maybe.
That's a
He
good guess.
he comes out of Krause's camp. He had a really good fight against the, he had a really good fight up a weight class against the, a hyped British kid a couple fights ago. He took on short notice. So definitely still, coming off a couple losses, but still has a boatload of talent and a great straight, I think it was right hand. I can't remember.
Yeah, David Onama.
Oh, David Onama. There he is.
Yeah, that's easy to remember. I'll just think of Obama.
Oh, yeah. There you
Throw
go.
an N in there. Yeah, it was a back and forth fight for what we saw. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That was a decision, I believe.
Yep. Although it looked like Nate was going to finish him a couple times.
Yasmin and Yasmin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing fight.
Jaru. Oh,
Yep.
man.
Nope.
Wow, I'm not even going to try that.
Yeah.
Jarugue.
Yeah, that's close. Uruguay.
And then good old Asmat defeated Devin Clark. He
Oh, yeah. So
Put him
he's,
away in the third.
yeah. He's actually relatively new on my radar. I know they mentioned him being hyped and being an amazing, 205er. And he did look like he could make 85, which he probably could. But, yeah, I guess he comes with a boatload of credentials.
And then Priscilla Cachoeira, she's a zombie, right?
Yeah.
She took out Ariane Lipsky in the
right,
first round.
right off the bat, just
Jumped on her.
power punches. And then, Lipsky, she was up against the fence. She tried to throw back, and then she just got the worst of it. Yeah. It's hard, and I've always noticed this. When you take the first shot, it's hard to counter with power in that exchange. It's almost like those back and forth power exchanges. The person that lands first usually gets the better of it. Not always. A guy like Gaethje will often not land first, but then because of his power and the way, I wonder if he practices punching with weird head position, because he's literally very good at punching while he's being punched, like while his head's moving, and he can still find the target.
Yeah, he is probably the best wounded tiger fighter I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple.
And his power is different. He's got like that thud, like wild looping punches, like hard power.
Yeah.
Whereas the Brazilian Oliveira is more like snap. And Machida has that snap too. They sting.
Well,
it's like a different
but Machida's is a lot about movement and
firing. Getting you to run into the punch.
Yeah, exactly. As you fought him and you had a bad corner. That's a great story. Corner forgot Vaseline, so you immediately cut. And,
yes. Anything you need, I'm here for you. All right, grease me up. Oops. Damn.
Do you think they'd let us spar some grease? Yeah. Shit, can I go ask the other corner? Yeah. So that was Jungle Fight, right?
Jungle Fight number one.
In Jungle Fight number one.
Yeah, in the middle of the Amazon River, man.
And your corner did not bring Vaseline, even though these were the good old days where you could literally people would like cover themselves. Yeah. Now, they really are good about checking for grease now in the fights. They really.
Yeah.
And you've seen them like stop somebody before they come into the octagon or the cage and wipe them down. I'm like, oh my goodness.
See, that fight was a trip. I might as well just tell the condensed version of that one. We flew from Rio to Manaus, 7-hour flight, so I'm tired. I think we're going to a hotel, but they take us to a boating dock. Like, okay, get on the boat. And I was with Mark Schultz, the Olympic gold wrestler. He fought on that card. And next thing you know, you're like 2 hours deep in the Amazon River. And it's like, the sun's setting. And I'm like, wow, this is it. This is Enter the Dragon. Like, I am in the movie. Like, I am Bruce Lee. And then the fight started, and he was really tricky and crafty and slipping and countering, and he popped my nose, and I thought in my head I started laughing because I realized that he was Bruce Lee.
Funny.
Who was the white guy's name? John Roper. Yeah. And there I was. I get cut, and I'm pouring blood all over my pasty white hairy chest, just like John Roper in the movie.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So you had to fly 7 hours that day and then fight?
Oh, no. We had a couple. But I flew into Rio originally. We trained a couple days at Carlson's old gym. It was like 110 degrees out and humid. Oh, my God. Felt like I was going to die. And then we flew to Manaus and fought there.
And it was even more humid because you're on the river. And this is you coming from nice and cool Chicago.
Like every day it would rain with the most torrential downpour you'd ever seen. You think like you're getting hit with a monsoon and then it was like it never happened. Be sunny out, totally clear up. Be like half hour to 45-minute rain. Super hard. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Back to the UFC San Diego. Want to just give props to Gerald Meerschaert, old guy, old timer. He's been doing it a long time. His 27th submission victory over Bruno Silva. Isn't that amazing?
That was beautiful. He set it up with, I think, a right hook, maybe. Right, I forget. Yeah. But it's always good to set your submissions up with punches.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that opens it up, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, it makes the old saying, I think Carlson originally said it, like, black belt, punch him a couple times,
Yeah.
he's a brown belt. A couple
Carlson.
more, a purple.
Just last nostalgic moment. I remember when we fought and Carlson Gracie was up over the fence in your corner, and I was like, oh, that's Carlson Gracie. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. That guy's pretty famous. All right.
Yeah, I remember him walking Vitor out way back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember in college getting the pay-per-views and just seeing Vitor burst on the scene and knock out the heavyweights and Carlson in his corner. And
Yeah.
I'd be so grateful if I could learn jiu-jitsu from someone like that. And then 5 years later, he moves to Chicago. And I had just won a couple fights, a 4-man tournament. And that was it. It was like a bucket list. I just didn't want to get my ass kicked in front of my friends and family that I grew up with. That was really my goal. You know, my brother's going to be there, my dad, his friends from work. So I just didn't want to get my ass kicked. And I won the fights. I threw the sauna suit out because I wasn't planning on cutting weight again. And then right after that, Carlson moved up and everyone pointed to me like, there's your MMA fighter. And next thing you know, he's on the phone with people trying to get me fights. And I had like a couple more fights. He got me the Machida fight. But I remember asking, I think it was Hinaldo Santos was training with me and asking him, what's he saying? He's on the phone talking to like Validi. He's saying, yeah, I got a guy here. He'll kick anyone's ass. It doesn't matter what size. And I'm like yelling at him, tell him to shut up. Like, no way, I'm same as Vitor, light heavyweight, light, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't care. But remember when Murlo Bustamante fought Tom Erickson, and that it was a fight.
Pride, wasn't it?
No, it was down in Brazil. They did a 1 30-minute round. I think it was similar. No, that was in a cage. But yeah, remember Chuck Liddell versus Pele?
Oh, that was an amazing fight.
That was a 30-minute round.
Hey, if you have not seen that fight, go watch that fight. Chuck Liddell versus Pele. What's his?
Jose Pele Landon.
Oh yeah,
Johns.
That is an amazing fight. Pele was kind of a minor legend before, like when it was all kicking off. The cages where the bottom rope was netted.
Yes.
So you couldn't fall out, and that just really
get caught in the note and get up and start stomping, soccer kicking.
Yeah, and people got soccer kicked in the head because their heads got stuck against the netting.
And no gloves; they were just bare knuckles.
Yeah.
Back before the bare knuckles.
Some of
bare knuckle MMA.
Vanderlei's best fights back.
Yes.
I used to watch
Mike
those
Van
fights.
Arsdale.
Yeah. I used to watch those fights back before sparring, and I would just go buck wild.
Those were the best, man. The VHS, my VHS MMA collection, when the fights barely were, it was hard to, the UFC was a couple times a year, and then it stopped for a couple of years. They got booted from pay-per-view, and then you had to get those bootleg MMA VHSs like that one. But yeah, I think it's IVC, but everyone at home, check that out. Jose Pele Landons versus Chuck Liddell. Amazing fight.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinny Chuck.
Bring back the 30-minute rounds.
I fought 2 fights with 10-minute rounds. I didn't mind them. I like them.
I fought Terry Martin with 10.
Yeah, I like those. Those were all right.
So, let's touch on some MMA news. I guess that's what we're doing now. We were, talking the fights that just happened. But
talking MMA nostalgia. But now we're going to go back to current MMA news.
Yes. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on Alex Pereira getting the title fight against Adesanya just because he beat him in Muay Thai in a different sport back in the day.
Right.
Do you feel like he kind of cut the line?
5 or 6 years ago?
At least, before Israel was in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, they were both kickboxing. And Israel was winning that fight pretty handily. He was actually had Pereira looking pretty bad in those kickboxing matches. But Pereira's power and great chin.
That left hook.
Yeah, you heard Sean Strickland talking about Pereira's length. And I did notice in his fights, he does not bring his hands home. He throws punches, and he just kind of leaves his hands down by his chest. But one, he doesn't expect you to come back because of the power he's putting out there. And two, he's very, very long. And so, I think Sean kind of accounted for half the equation, but he forgot how long that dude also is. And again, like Israel is going to have more trouble fighting a guy like that because he is long. However, just if you're talking about the game as far as the striking and the tools they use, footwork, movement, feints, fakes, Adesanya does way more.
And what about the fact that they're fighting in a different sport?
Yeah,
You think we're going to see a takedown from Israel?
No, I don't. And I don't think we're going to see much tie clinch either.
You got to think his ground's got to be light years better than Pereira. Pereira relatively new to MMA.
Yeah.
Israel, has been on top for a while.
He's been up there training with, what's his name in Connecticut for a while, though, the former 205-pound champ. What's his name?
Glover.
Glover Teixeira, one of the greatest human beings around. Everybody loves that guy. You won't meet anybody that doesn't. You'll never meet a person that has a bad word to say about Glover Teixeira, but except Stephan. Stephan hates him. No. But no, yeah. So his ground is going to be satisfactory. Let's hope it. Honestly, just from his fans' standpoint, let's hope it doesn't go to the ground. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is that Israel's arsenal is much more varied than Pereira's. His game is kind of very much bang, bang, bang. Kick, punch, punch, kick. And he he doesn't feint. I've never seen him doing any trips. Yeah, I mean it's a very good game, and it's sometimes the simplest way to do some things the best way. But I just that's one thing that stands out to me when I look at that fight. But the power advantage on Pereira's side, the length, they're both super long. They're both Israel's probably a little quicker, has a little better fight reaction instincts, just from what I've seen.
To clear the record, I'm a huge Glover fan, and we fought on the same card down in Rio, and talked to him a lot. So Forrest is full of shit on that one.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Everybody loves Glover, especially Stephan. I actually know he loves Glover. So, yeah. But yeah, no, that's a great fight. What's your take on that matchup? What do you think might be some keys to somebody winning that maybe we're overlooking?
Well, I just think it's Israel's fight to lose. Like, just the level he's been fighting at for so long. Like, if he takes Pereira down, I think he's got a huge advantage. And me personally, I think it'd be stupid not to. So I'm expecting to see that, like, especially takedowns off of timing, off of kicks, Pereira's on one leg when he kicks, just get easy takedown.
Well, I would think, maybe sweeps, trips, that stuff. That gym he comes from, they do a lot of that stuff, as far as the tripping and cut kicking. That would be the way I would try to get a takedown. If I'm a guy like Israel and I'm not tall, even though Pereira is just as tall, I'm not changing levels and wasting my energy trying to take a guy
low
down.
energy takedowns are the way to go.
Clinch. But
I don't think he's got it in him to really fight and shoot and reshoot on a double leg.
No, I really don't. I don't think he needs to. I think that would detract
timing.
Yeah, for sure. We did see Israel bring out against Cannonier one thing I hadn't seen before, and that was a little bit of a necktie, plum, tie clinch, whatever you want to call it, which I thought looked pretty good. He did get punched over the top a little bit, but
his tie clinch looked good.
Yeah, 6'4" as well, so you're not really tie clinching a guy your size unless you've already kneed him to the body or something.
Yeah, that's my point is make sure it's not a Muay Thai fight. Even though you thought he was winning before, but I think the more he mixes it up, the more he clinches, the more he gets him thinking, worried about a takedown, the less kicks you're going to see out of Pereira. But like, if I'm in the 185-pound division, I'd definitely be hating on Pereira for jumping in and getting the title fight that quickly.
I'm glad you said that again. Here's what I would say. All the other matchups that look good are rematches. He's already fought the Gastelums, the Whitakers. He's already fought these people a lot. There's no reason for him to fight, somebody again. So I think it's just really good timing for Pereira.
Hey, Pereira's 3-0 in the UFC?
Yeah.
Chidi's 3-0 in the UFC. Who wouldn't want to see Chidi versus Adesanya?
Yeah, and I think maybe that's a fight that happens at some point, you know?
Yeah, I've been telling Chidi, get on calling him out. Start running your mouth a little bit. The closed mouth don't get fed.
That's true. Or don't get the
They
right
have
matchup.
similar styles, but I think Chidi has more power.
Chidi does, I think, have more power, but maybe that's just because he's kicked and punched me.
And one of his knockouts recently was from a jab. He's knocked like 2 guys out with a jab.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know, his knees
does
to the
that?
body are next level, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, Chidi, local guy, been local over one kick since the days when we were fighting. And he's a guy we would bring in for help when we needed help with his southpaw.
He's Anthony and Joe Kawane's little big brother.
Yeah. Anthony, who fought in the
155
UFC
for a long time.
for many years, and WC before that.
Yeah, I'm expecting big things from Chidi. And I knew it back in, when I was training with him for like Anderson Silva.
Yep.
Like, this guy's going to be freaking good, man. Yeah.
That's funny. Vitor also brought him in when he was fighting Anderson Silva. And then I worked with him for a little bit when I was fighting Rich Franklin, because he's able to give you that southpaw look.
So I'm looking at the 185-pound division. Yeah, you're right. A lot of rematches there. Yeah, he's pretty much cleaned out the division.
So it's, similar to what Anderson did, where it's like, oh, he kind of beat everybody. What
Who's
do
he
we do
going to
with
fight
him?
next?
Yeah, is he going to, and he already did the move up to 205-pound thing. Not that he can't do that again. He can.
Yeah, I don't think he would. It didn't work out for him. He was kind of gave up a little too much size. You could just see the strength.
Yeah.
And he, you give up some takedowns. That's really what cost him the fight.
Of course, yeah.
A few takedowns.
And his, offense was a little bit stifled because, one, Blachowicz is quick. He's quicker than people think. That's one of the things, how he gets people at 205. And then 2, he's
heavy
champion.
hands.
Heavy hands, the Polish power. But, yeah, and then good ground control. Okay wrestling,
Yeah.
But I feel like Israel kind of fixed some of those wrestling holes.
And I don't think he'd get taken down that easy against a smaller guy.
No.
I think some of it was the size.
Yeah, a little size and strength will overcome bad technique. Don't listen to your coaches; they're lying. Like, it's got to be perfect. It doesn't. You can muscle it, baby.
That's what I love about the high rollers. A lot of times they do open weight, and they don't. They just do match people up. And the Brazilian guy, Vitor. Anyways, he cleaned house. He ran through 3-4 guys in a few minutes, just tap, tap, tap. And he was only about $170.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, beating the bigger guys. I love seeing that.
Last time I rolled hard.
Vitor Perez.
Nice.
Props to that dude.
Last time I rolled hard, it was with a bunch of those high-level jits guys, and I just went ahead and took footlocks of any kind off the table.
Yeah.
So there's no point in rolling with me. If you're just going to footlock me, just assume I'm tapping right now. So, and they, they were able to destroy me without footlocking me, which was nice.
What about this Bo Nickal? He'll be a exciting addition. Did I say that right?
No,
Nickel?
I think it's just Nichols. Yeah.
Well, Nickal. Nickel. All right.
Yeah, I think it's maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just know from the fights. But yeah, no, he just needs some seasoning. I think that's kind of what Dana was saying. He needs seasoning. This is 2 fights in. He's Penn State All-American, national. I don't think he was a national champion actually, but he's the aggressive. He's got the fight mentality. First time I saw him, had no idea who he was. He was actually helping Jorge Masvidal get ready to fight Usman the second time.
See, your memory's pretty sharp, How screwed could your brain really be? You've been pulling names out.
Well, I've always struggled with names too, so I think
me too.
Right, but
I brain fart probably more than you.
Yeah, got that going for me. I'm faster than the slow guy.
Are you sure you don't want some of this CBD pen?
No, I'm good for now. Yeah. yeah, so Bo, he, again, it's very hard in the UFC, right?
By the way, guys, Bo Nickel is a NCAA D1 national champ.
Oh, he is the national champ. Thank you.
He better be.
But it says so on the internet. It's got to be true. But yeah, so anyway, high-level wrestler. Still needs more fight experience. Only been doing it for a little bit, Again, he grappled with some high-level grapplers in the kind of the Fight Pass, UFC Fight Pass Invitational. But, it was defensive wrestling, grappling. He's not, like, out there subbing people. So I think he's got to be able to take people down repeatedly and then pound them. So
huge advantage over the average fighter.
Yeah, and something else I was noticing is the closer somebody is to their wrestling career, the more likely they are to just shoot a pure double and make it work.
Yep.
You take the high-end wrestlers that have been in the sport a while, and they're not making their double X work anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm anxious to see with Usman. Is he going to wrestle now? He's been knocking guys out lately.
Yeah, fall in love with the hands.
Like Koscheck, remember? Koscheck's hands got good. He knocked a few people out. And then
I don't know that his hands got good. He just found out he could knock people out.
He had power, yeah.
Yeah, he just found out he could knock people out. And
then he stopped taking people down.
Yeah, and then when he couldn't hit people and he couldn't take them down, he was kind of just out of luck. But, yeah.
Yeah, and he hung it up after just one Bellator fight. Were you surprised?
No, I think he had medical problems too going into that.
Oh yeah, I think Fitch mentioned his back. He has a bad back.
Yeah, years of shooting that double with his head lower than his ass. Like if you watch Koscheck's technique in wrestling, it is not what they preach. His butt was always higher than his head. He just kind of bent at the hips, and so no wonder he got a bad back. Amazing wrestler, though. And he was actually really good to me. So I'm one of the few guys, I think, that's friends with him. Yeah.
He's like...
we had the same manager. He, introduced me to people.
You were the only guy on the show he liked.
Yeah. Was I?
Bobby.
He liked Bobby. Yeah, Bobby. It was the three of us. It was like the three of us were buddy. You're like, okay, yeah.
But man,
little click
he was
there.
so much easier to deal with once I broke him and Bobby up. After I beat Bobby was off. And then he was like,
he didn't
way
have
nicer.
He didn't have he didn't have that kind of person to feed off of,
Remind me of A Christmas Story, the bully and the toady, kind of.
Yeah, the toady shuts up once the bully's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, so let's look ahead. That's a great question about Pereira, Israel. But the look ahead at this week, is that where we're at?
Well, yeah, let's touch on Nate Diaz and Kazmat Chimaev. Why are they doing Nate dirty like that? I don't like for a retirement fight. I'm not crazy, but I would have rather have seen him fight Wonder Boy, Masvidal again, Vicente Luke, sorry.
Him and Luque is a good fight.
Yep, and Chimaev, we saw him have that awesome fight with Gilbert Burns. That's because the wrestling canceled each other out, and they were forced to just trade, know. And I don't think Diaz's wrestling defense is as strong as Burns.
I don't know where Diaz is at in his career and life at this point, Or, I don't know. Good on him for taking the fight, but...
And this is it for him, right?
That's my understanding, yeah.
That's what I heard, too.
It's a hell of a fight on the way out, man. Against a guy that's young and hungry and wants to smash. I hate the way he says he kills everybody, I remember when Frank Mir said he wanted to kill somebody, and he lost his commentating gig and, got in a lot of trouble.
When he said that about Brock Lesnar. Yep. And guess who got that job?
You did.
Yes.
There you go.
A little bittersweet, I like Frank. I didn't want to see him get...
canned.
Yes.
You're saying he's going to kill people. But now apparently you can say you're going to kill people and point your finger guns at people's head, which I really hate because it's a sport and we don't kill people,
BJ Penn lost his bid for governor. That was a surprise. I thought for sure, who's not going to vote for him down in Hawaii,
I'm disappointed in you, Hawaii.
Yeah, come on, get with it. But hey, maybe next time, or maybe he could run for Congress or the state senate or
Something, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd rather see him run for something than Tito. Remember when Tito won city councilman position?
I do, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then after the first week, they actually expected him to do some work. He's like, "What? I thought I was just going to take pictures with people." And he quit.
Yeah. Well, you got to do what I do, and you got to hire some people to do the work for you. So it's like if I were in politics or got any position in the government, it would end up costing me money because I would have to actually pay smart people to do the work. It's like, I got to pay somebody to do my homework now. Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just go about hiring people like Vince did based on how hot they were.
Oh, boy. Woo. Catch you in the end. Catch you in the end, yeah.
In other news, Delano Taylor retires Rory McDonald in Bellator.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I saw the fight. I did not know. Wait, that was PFL, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know who. Say his name again.
Delano Taylor.
I didn't know who he was, but I know who he is now.
Yeah, that's a
much
big
respect
name.
to him. Yeah, much respect to him.
Yeah, but he's kind of been on a slide. I think he's.
Yeah, I watched his last fight against. I forget the kid's name. They call him the young Denzel or whatever. The kid he lost, and that was a very competitive, tough fight. The kid Roy fought. Sai, yeah, he can fight. I mean, I know he's a little older too, but he can fight, and he's super long and tough to deal with. So, and he's just giant for that weight, 170. He doesn't. You look at him and you think, surely he's an 85er, and he does fight both, but 170 is where the money is for the tournament. So
he's dropped 4 of his last 6 now. Oh,
okay.
Wait. 1, 2.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's time. Good for him.
Yeah. He's got a couple good years in him, but, I'm not going to dog anyone for choosing to hang it up.
Oh,
even if
no. It was
he's
probably
only
time.
33. He's been in a lot of wars.
Only 33. Yeah, well, in my opinion, probably the best fight of all time, right?
Robbie Lawler.
Him and Robbie Lawler for the belt. An amazing fight, which broke his face.
Yes. He looked like the elephant man after that.
His face was literally just broken.
Like his own mother wouldn't have recognized him.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I couldn't. I saw him, and I was like, oh, my God. I didn't even know what to say. Sorry about your face, bro.
Don King turns 91.
That is amazing.
How did that guy make it to 91?
I don't know. You figure somebody would have shanked him years ago for all the shady stuff he pulled, right?
Yeah, he did some time for manslaughter.
Well, that was the start.
And then Tyson beat his ass. Did you see the Tyson documentary?
I didn't.
Oh, it's good. And he's like, yeah, and then I just stomped on King's ass. I just stomped him. Like, it had me imagining like Vanderlei and Pride.
Oh, yeah.
Like he didn't even bother punching him.
Like kicking poor Sakuraba's head off.
Oh, God.
Don't let him kill that poor nice man.
Why did the Japanese keep making Sakuraba fight him?
I don't
after
know.
the first 2 knockouts, come on.
Because he hurt him like once or twice, and they thought, oh, surely he can do it. Yeah, it was poor matchmaking on Pride's part for sure.
Yeah, they love crucifying their heroes.
Very true.
Bukau, poor Pramik doing BKFC, the K1
Bukau?
legend.
Yeah.
Bukau's
how old
still
is
going.
He, though? How
He's
old is
40.
He? He's 40. Okay.
He's had over.
Yeah, he's the Thai guy. He's a bigger Thai guy.
Yeah, he's
right?
the Thai guy that was getting beat in Thailand. So the K1 Max put him in there, thinking that they'll build up their Japanese guys because this guy's washed up in Thailand.
Yeah.
And then he came in, destroyed everyone. That was like 2003, 3,
Yep.
like 20 years ago.
Yes, it was 20 years ago.
And he's still going strong.
That is crazy.
He looks better than ever.
So I remember
300 plus fights.
I remember exactly what you're talking about when he kind of brought in the K1 Max stuff. Yeah, I remember that very well. It was,
yeah, that made me fall in love with Muay Thai.
well, we had some Muay Thai coaches at our gym, from Thailand and
Ganyao.
yeah, awesome guy. I love that guy. I don't know whatever happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably still doing his thing.
Just drinking that Red Bull and vodka.
Yeah.
being crazy.
I remember after the show, like it was like noon the next day, and he pulled me out of the strip club. You might have a drinking problem if the Thai guy has to
Yeah.
cut you off. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Remember how long was the flight from San Francisco? He's like, 2 Jack and Coke.
Yes. That's awesome.
That's how he told time.
Yeah, that's oh god, he was awesome. But yeah, Bukaw, that is amazing. I had no idea he was still going bare knuckle fighting now. Which, I'll be honest, it's interesting to me. I don't love it. I don't know that it's the best thing for combat sports, but I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
It's definitely interesting, And I kind of, I think about like your hand and the rule set and how it's probably not that much different. Like more chances you'll bleed, but you probably break your hand before you break your face,
Yeah, you think I could see Machida doing that, a guy who really fights at the distance really well.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding. And he doesn't throw like pure raw power. He throws accurate shots.
Yes.
He punches you right in the chin, nose area. So, yeah.
Cyborg doing a boxing match for Simone Silva on September 25th.
What promotion is that?
You got me. It's in Brazil.
All right.
But, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Why not?
What's her...
Your first boxing match?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the sparring of her and Clarissa Shields, and that looked okay, but, yeah.
Isn't Clarissa more of a grappler?
No, Clarissa Shields, the Olympian. That's in PFL.
Oh, all right. I'm thinking of another Shields that...
Jake Shields.
Yeah, Clement Shields. That's his brother.
Oh.
I thought there was a Clarissa Shields, too. I stand corrected. But, yeah, a lot of these MMA guys are going into boxing now. And
which is fine if they're matched up with other MMA guys.
But, for 47 years old, he's been looking better than all of them. Our buddy. Good old Anderson.
Oh, Anderson, man. Yeah, he does look good, actually.
Yeah, he beat Cesar Chavez Jr., who's a former world champion in boxing. And, he outboxed him. It's not like he got lucky, landed just one big shot. Like, he spanked him. He put it on him.
He put Tito out cold, face on the canvas, which, anybody that's ever fought Tito will tell you he can take a shot.
Yeah, one punched him.
Yeah. And Tito actually fought Anderson just the way I would fight him in a boxing, try to, just get all over him and just smother him.
Yeah, and he just recently fought Bruno Machado, who's an MMA guy, but KO'd him the exact same way as Tito, like a one-punch knockout with that.
What was
hook.
that in?
That was a boxing show. I was just doing a little research. You're like, Anderson, God, he's been boxing great. I can't believe he beat Chavez. Let's see if he fought recently, and boom, yeah, he did just like a month ago. Another boxing match.
Yes,
he's on a roll.
So that was over in Abu Dhabi or something.
Yes,
on the one with Floyd Mayweather and yeah.
Well, while we're on it, Jake Paul. He was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, but they wouldn't let Tommy Fury. That's Tyson Fury's half brother.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let him into the country because his affiliation with certain individuals that they deem problematic.
Yeah, and then that another one fall out, Hasim
Rahman Jr.
Yeah, he just was like, I'm not going to make that weight, which I like the way he did that. He was like, well, you want this fight to happen, so I'll just weigh 215. 200, 215, 200, 250. It's like you just see that negotiation. Now I'm 215, yeah.
Well, that's
and I'm going to tell you a story here. I think the fight was in Vegas, but who's the golden boy? Oscar De La Hoya fought...
Bernard.
No, sorry. Also great fight, though. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Monday, February. See, you said I had good memory, and then it left me. But no, when they fought, Floyd hit him with a day of max weight thing. So he had to reweigh the next day, and he actually had to go in and cut a couple pounds the day of the fight to reweigh. And because it's the Floyd show, and basically you want that money that you kind of jump through the hoops it gives you. So that was a little known fact for De La Hoya.
Yeah, it's like the old Sugar Ray Leonard strategy. You're going to fight in my size ring that I want,
Yeah.
the gloves I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, why not? Turn everything to your advantage,
But
right?
speaking of cutting weight, let's, for this last fight in San Diego, I got to give a little gold medal out to the biggest weight cutter, Tyson Nam. Fought at 125 and weighed in at 146.2 the day after. That's a 16% increase.
How do you know that?
You could look this stuff
It's
up.
California.
They check them the day
California,
of.
yeah.
And an honorable mention
It's
goes...
just California, right? Andy
Yeah.
Foster and that commission, yeah.
So an honorable mention goes to Martin Boudet, although percentage-wise,
Yeah.
it wasn't as much. He cut down to 266 and weighed 290 and a half
No.
the day of. Yes.
Oh, my God.
And he lost. He won a split decision. So, imagine...
He won a split decision by getting punched in the face repeatedly.
And he outweighed him by 50 pounds. I'm sure if the ringside judges had that stat in front of them, that might have...
maybe it shouldn't.
Considering
really.
the size difference,
It shouldn't really, yeah.
Well, you thought Lucas beat him.
Just based on the fact that he hit him in the face way more times.
Well, that's
Just the fact that he landed way more significant strikes than the other guy, and they really didn't do much grappling to speak of. So yeah, that's why I thought he won.
in the boxing world. Also, Anthony Joshua is going to fight that small heavyweight. While we're talking about small heavyweights, Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, that guy's gotten
rematch.
bigger. Yeah, he's gotten bigger though.
Yeah, he's only 220 as a heavyweight, and he beat Anthony Joshua, outboxed him.
Yeah,
And Joshua's a 2-1 dog going into the rematch.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. Both those guys are pretty fit and tough, and yeah.
When are we going to see John Jones finally get in there at heavyweight? I feel like I've been waiting for that for like 2 years now.
It's been 2 years. You have been waiting for 2 years, but I'm pretty sure he's doing his thing against Stipe this November, December. I think.
All right, you heard it from Forrest, ladies and gentlemen.
It's on the internet. It can't be wrong.
And yeah, what happened at the Hall of Fame ceremony? How did he get arrested?
Oh, I don't know. That was 2 years ago now, or was it?
I think that was his last arrest.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just heard about it recently, and it's like, what? How, like what did you do to get arrested at the Hall of Fame ceremony? Was it in his hotel room? I just thought you'd have the inside scoop. So,
Well, that was already like 2 years ago now, because we just had
too late.
the Hall of Fame ceremony. And I don't know. I do know he left Jackson Winklejohn, went to a different gym, right?
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
So he spent most of his
Finally
career
left,
there.
yeah.
He did not go back to New York. I think he still lives in Albuquerque. And I don't want to. I love Better Call Saul, but why Albuquerque? I do wonder why Albuquerque. Altitude. It's a fighter city, I guess.
Yeah, and he's probably like the king of Albuquerque.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Robbie Lawler fighting Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, tough fight for Robbie, who's been a little slower, and Ponzinibbio's got that speed. Should be a good fight.
Robbie's been fighting longer than us.
Robbie
started fighting like 2000, I think.
Well,
isn't that amazing?
I think
He's
we
still
started
going?
fighting 2000 as well.
Oh,
but
one.
Robbie was in the UFC in 2003 or 4.
Was it that UFC 37 and a half?
Might have been. I don't remember.
Aaron Riley.
Oh my God, that was an amazing fight. And now that you're 100% right, that was the fight. That was an amazing fight. Aaron Riley was a local guy from Florida, so I was rooting for him. And then Robbie just put it on him. And Aaron Riley, another kind of an unsung OG legend.
Great chin, yeah.
Just
at the time.
Took the beating. Yeah, it was crazy. But
and then, by the third round, Robbie gassed out a little. And then he, made it a good fight, competitive.
Yeah, so.
All right. Without further ado, let's preview these fights coming up. Salt Lake City, Utah. Speaking of altitude, and I'm actually going to be going to this one. So I fly out Friday. I'm going to Joe Rogan's comedy show,
All right.
and then going to the
Did he
UFC
ask you to
pay-per-view.
open for him?
No, I figured I'd ask him when I got there.
Yeah. Just get up on stage, start talking. I got up on stage at a Joe Rogan concert once.
And did a little stand-up? Or
Nope,
just told
nope,
stories or
Nope.
something?
I just got up and yelled said, "Hey, waitress, can I get a beer?" And everybody started laughing their heads off because everybody apparently thought I was going to do comedy. I just walked up and ordered a beer. And this was a legit story because I couldn't get a beer. They would, the waitress would not come by me.
See, Forrest gets cut off, too. It's not just
Yeah.
me getting cut off by Gagnon.
Times I should have been cut off.
British Columbia.
The worst.
That was some pretty good comedy we did.
That was really good, I think.
The crowd loved it. They were
it was
laughing.
It was
We
very
were-
funny. They were as drunk as I was. And then
some good red wine, too.
oh my God, it's amazing red wine from up in British Columbia, but it'll get you. It'll get you. It got me. Got the best of me at 5 a.m.
We got Cyril, how do you say that? Ghani versus Tai Tuivasa coming up September 3rd. Then Whitaker versus Vettori. These
Yeah.
are two fights I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Cyril Gahn, he doesn't have maybe a ton of power, but he's one of the best moving, most athletic heavyweights I've ever seen in my life.
He was actually like a minus 125 favorite against Ngannou.
Yeah, and he would have won that fight if he had bailed on the heel hook and tried to get to his feet.
Yeah, and
But
he forced Francis to use some wrestling.
He kept on the heel hook. He could have. All he had to do was get up and pot shot the big man like he had done in the first round, and he could have won that fight. But
It was a close one.
Kind of went for the heel hook. Now he couldn't have gotten.
It was like 3 rounds to 2, I believe.
Yeah, he could have won the 5th. It was early in the 5th when he got taken down, and the majority of the damage was done to him. Now he couldn't have used the heel hook to get position, but he should have just completely bailed and run, like got up, hustled.
That's the best thing about going for a leg lock, you know?
Well, the best
you
thing...
could escape or sweep, a reversal.
Exactly. So if you can get the sweep or reversal, that's even better. But he didn't have those options, but he went for the heel hook instead, when he should have just gone for I'm just going to touch your foot. Nope, psych, I'm going to get up and get out of here. And then run around, skirt the octagon, the big 30-foot octagon, and touch you at will and make you look slow with the bad leg, which he should have done. Oh, well.
Who do you got, Whitaker or Vettori?
That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really call fights like that. I think Vettori can take anything. Marvin can take anything that people can throw at him. Whitaker's definitely got that speed advantage. He's probably got the more varied striking arsenal.
Yeah, I'd give him a slight advantage when it comes to pure boxing. He's got a great jab.
And then he's got those mean little stomp kicks, oblique kicks. He's got he's got a varied arsenal. And then, I think, Vettori, the bigger, stronger guy, maybe he can hold Whitaker on the fence, but I don't know that he can take him down because Whitaker's a very fast, scrambly guy. And if anything, I do see opportunities for Whitaker to maybe take big
Vettori down. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Whitaker's got good hips. He's a hard guy to take down.
He's always moving, and he's got great reactions, too, whereas Vettori's a little slower, but very strong, physically strong. And it always comes in great shape.
So without further ado, we're going to go to UFC 278, is it? Salt Lake City?
Yeah, UFC 278. A rematch 7 years in the making starts us off, right?
Kamaru Usman versus... Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why bury the lead, right? Start with the lead. But Usman, minus 380 favorite.
Okay. Well, again, Leon Edwards. Usman's looked great to me, right? And he is number one. He is the number one pound-for-pound ranked fighter.
Now his hands caught up to his wrestling.
Yeah. Sometimes that poses a problem for guys. Like, I think DC maybe relied on his hands too much later in his career and not enough on his wrestling. Who knows? Or maybe just fighting other heavyweights that wasn't worth the risk. But for this fight, it's Usman number one pound for pound ranked, has looked amazing, has shown a diversified arsenal. He's getting, great coaching. But Leon Edwards, if you look at the way he's won his fights, I was really impressed with the way he beat RDA when RDA is not what he was, but still a very accomplished fighter. He used wrestling to do it. And, when he beat Cowboy, he used wrestling to do it. But if you think about...
That's not going to work on Usman.
Exactly. And if you think about the level of recent competition, I would say Usman has had better recent competition than Leon Edwards has had. So nothing that Leon can do about that. Leon
hasn't fought Colby, has he?
No. He's been trying to fight to save his life, I mean, couldn't get a fight. He had like 5 straight fights fall out or get changed or something,
So if you're wrestling, or if you're listening to this, I think the key to victory is get him thinking takedown. Like at
Always.
least fake, or at least take up some half-ass ones and don't finish, just to get him sprawling, moving his hips back. Because if there's one punch that Edwards leaves himself open to, I'd say is the uppercut. So if you could get him thinking takedown, come underneath with an uppercut, I think it'll make an easy night out of it.
Yeah, I hadn't watched that much footage of Edwards to have picked that up. That's a good read, I think.
Yeah, he, this a lot with the high guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, go underneath.
Usman's also got a good chin.
Yeah, I've never seen him hurt.
No, but and I've seen him fight some guys that could fight and hit him pretty solid, and I've never seen him hurt. I've seen him take shots. I know he, when he was in Florida with those guys, the Black Zillions, they used to go pretty damn hard, man, and he survived it. So, and that was what Rashad was always saying is he's going to be the man, he's going to be champ.
You called it, Sugar.
Yeah, he said that a long time ago, back when they were doing like the Black Zillions versus AKA.
Wow.
Yeah.
The co-main event, Paulo Costa, who changed his nickname from Borrachina to the Eraser, taking on Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold has been on a long hiatus.
2 years, right?
Yeah.
Shelved for about 2 years. So, yeah, interesting to see which Luke Rockhold shows up. He's healthy, he's motivated, he's in a better place than he was. Mentally and physically, and he did have a lot of injuries, right? So, hopefully train smarter, not necessarily harder, and we'll see. The thing I worry, though, is that...
3 years. His last fight was the Jan Blachowicz in July of 2019.
Yeah, got knocked out bad in that one. We'll see how his chin is, because, man, Bokashina or whatever, Paulo Costa, he hits hard. He's got power. He's got great body shots, too, which I think Luke will probably be able to take. But, you worry about the body head or head body head, coming back to the head with these, shots.
And Costa's dropped his last couple fights.
Yeah, he has dropped his last couple fights. So what? Well, I mean, it was Israel knocked him out, made him look pretty bad, right?
Yeah, kicked him in the head.
Yeah.
And and then before that, Marvin Vettori in a...
Well, that was after that, right?
Yeah,
Vettori,
that was
his
after.
last fight, Vettori.
That's where he didn't look himself. He fought...
He didn't make weight.
He was a little gun shy.
He laid on the fence, out of shape, and basically threw a hammer, hoping for the best. And you can't rely on that to beat Vettori because his chin's too good.
So, yeah, those are his only 2 losses. He's 13-2.
There's only 2 losses. There's last 2 fights, though.
Yeah. And then, Rockhold, too, like being on a 3-year layoff and coming back. He lost to Jan, then Yoel Romero. Yeah, 3-year layoff, coming off 2 losses where both of those losses he got knocked out.
Badly, yeah.
So
and those are very powerful guys, but so is Paulo Costa.
But, yeah, I mean, usually Rockhold at plus 260, man, I'm going to take that bet in a heartbeat. But,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's really good odds. A former champion. He's super talented guy.
I think he's an unknown, though, in 3 years.
Yes, 3 years and coming off of 2 knockout losses, man. I'd feel a lot better about placing that bet if it were like Jose Aldo. Aldo in the
Oh,
the other
Merab.
main card fight.
That's it.
Fighting Marab, and
People
Aldo
sleeping
dropped
on
down
him.
the bantamweight, and he's won a couple fights. He's got used to the weight.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm pretty
I think
confident.
his only loss at bantamweight was Peter Yan, who tuned him up pretty good. But that was a bad stylistic matchup for Aldo as well, who's a explosive early starter. Now that's only a 3-round fight, which I think favors Aldo, because Darab is a cardiovascular machine. He brings it. He brings it, man. He go all night. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might have to put a little something on Rockhold, but definitely I think I'm taking Aldo versus Merab.
Aldo, yeah. I don't know. Be careful on the Rockhold money. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, if you just had one.
What about the main?
One
Are the
tune-up
odds
fight.
good enough? Like, what do you get? You put 100 on Leon. What am I getting back?
You're getting 300 plus 310. You'll get 310 back.
All right.
You like those odds?
Not bad. I mean, you have to bet against Usman. The books have to make it a good value proposition, right? So they have to, make it, basically make it what it is.
Yeah, they need to get people betting on
Yeah.
it. And if enough people bet on them, then the odds will go down, like, plus 300 and 270. But another big dog is Marcin Tybura. He's fighting. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Marcin Tybura. He's fighting Alexander Romanov. Romanov's minus 460.
Oh man, and that's a 3-round fight.
3-round fight. Yeah.
Marcin, strikes, but not a ton of power. Probably got the more, crisp technical striking, but doesn't knock a lot of people out for heavyweight. And he's got a varied arsenal. He's able to do some things. He can wrestle a little. He can, put it together very well for a big man. But, Romanov is just a big, head and arm throw wrestling, ball of destruction.
But yeah, 4-1 dog. I don't think it's a bad bet.
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, if you're looking for a dog on the
What do
card.
you see, if we're looking at Tybura's knockouts, who is he knocked out?
Yeah, let me look that up. I'm surprised you don't remember.
No, I can't. I can't remember. Well, I mean, because I mostly remember him grinding out decisions, which for a heavyweight is unusual, and I don't know that Romanov is ever gassed to get the decision. Again, I'm just making all this up.
Okay, yeah, he TKO Walt Harris in the first round.
Yes,
TKO
he did.
Greg Hardy in the second.
Yep.
Then decisions over Rothwell, Grisham. In his last fight, he lost a decision to Alexander Volkov.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's won, 5 of his last 6. He's a plus 400 dog. Like, not a bad bet. But the biggest dog on the card, Harry Hunsucker. He's fighting Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro minus 740.
And that's a 205, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Harry Hunsucker used to fight heavyweight.
Yeah.
And he dropped down. This would be his first. He was a small heavyweight, I
Yeah.
think, weighing like 235. And yeah, I finally cut the weight.
I think he came through the contender too, if I remember. Hunsucker, maybe.
And yeah, I can't believe Pedro's that favored. And he's been on a hiatus for a while. I think he's fought, though, right? Recently, within the last couple of years. I know he's out with some injuries for a while, like 3-4 years.
Yeah, that's a great call. And then his last fight, he starts somebody. Let's find out.
Tyson Pedro, interesting guy.
Great tattoos.
Looking up stories on him, and yeah, his dad was a fighter and told a story about when he was 16 and knocked his teeth out. And I guess his dad stabbed him too.
What? His dad was a fighter?
Stabbed him in the chest. Yeah, and I guess his dad was getting ready for a fight, and he told his dad he wants to be a fighter. So he's like, all right, get in here and give me some work. And Tyson said he hit him with like a little shot, and then he just saw like the glaze come over his dad's eyes and just, that eye of the tiger, and he just beat his ass and knocked his teeth out, knocked him out. So yeah, he lost to Shogun back in December of 2018, and then he was out for 4 years. Then he just fought in April. He beat Isaac Villanueva in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he dropped him with a low kick.
Yeah, I remember Shogun just came out, boom, knocked him out right quick in the first minute or so.
And then he recovered and lasted to the third.
Oh, really? Okay.
He got hurt early and then rallied back. And, well, I'm going off of what Sherdog says. I don't remember in my head, but it's saying I'm 43 seconds into the third round.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to believe Sherdog. You use Sherdog, huh? Not Tapology?
Yeah, just to look up records really quick,
But do you have a preference between Tapology and Sherdog?
Yeah, probably. I'm just used to Sherdog.
Yeah, same here. I've kind of moved over to Tapology, though, just because of the white background.
Yeah, it uses less battery. My laptop, the battery just died.
Oh, there you go.
Just in time, though.
Perfect timing to wrap this sucker up.
So, UFC 278, Salt Lake City. I like on the card. I like a couple dogs. Yeah. I like Usman for sure. He's minus 380. But, I'm thinking Rockhold maybe. Jose Aldo, he's a slight dog. But, yeah, the main underdogs of, everyone loves to go underdog hunting. I'm thinking are Harry Hunsucker and Marcin Tybura.
Yeah.
They're the two biggest underdogs on the card. And, I think they got a shot, especially if Tybura could make it out of the first round.
Yeah, sounds fair to me. I forgot what I was going to say. It wasn't that important.
I was just complimenting your memory.
Jinxed me. In all fairness, though, we've been doing this quite a bit. Yeah, UFC 278, this, we don't know when you guys are listening to this, but just assume that we get all the picks right. Yeah.
Then you'll be tuning in next show. So without further ado, I'll close this thing out. Thanks for coming by, Forrest.
All right, thank you.
I owe you one.